Welcome to Unafraid Show Daily Live. And this is where sports is going to be made simple and you'll find out things that are going on out in the world, explained to you in a way and in quickly so you guys can get to it. So, we got three things to talk about today. First thing is Netflix and Apple TV are the future of live sporting events and why you need to get on board with that now. And the next thing is that Scottie Scheffler, him getting off and beating him charges, but the stipulation that came with it, I'm not really feeling it and how you should be looking at this whole situation. And the last thing is we got more and more information about EA Sports College Football 25, which is the most anticipated sports game probably of all time. I mean, so we'll get to all of that. And you guys can always weigh in. Send me an email. I'm mad at unafraidshow.com. Tweet me, whatever, at George Rice or everything in between. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing that we have going on is that Netflix is the future of sports. So Netflix, when they did the Tom Brady roast and they did the Cat Williams special, they did both of those live. That was just the first, dipping their toe into the live sporting world. What their actual goal and entire point of this whole operation is to do is it is to get into the live sports business. And that means getting media rights and everything in between. So they have already done this on some level with the NFL because Netflix is going to broadcast three NFL games over the next couple of years on Christmas Day. And this year, Christmas is on a Wednesday, so they're already winning there. They're dipping their toe into the water because the next time that media rights come up for grabs, they are going to be a major player in that. So and they already have over 250 million subscribers. So and they're also not regional. They are worldwide. So if you are a player like the NFL or the NBA, MLB, or whatever other sport that you are, college football, and you want to have an international presence, WNBA, soccer, whatever it is, you want to be a part of this streaming services, like whether it's Netflix or whether it's Apple TV, because Apple TV already has the MLB on Friday nights. And if we rewind back about a year ago, they were in negotiations with the Pac 12 for their media rights. So that means that they wanted to be in the college football world already. So the future of television is changing and it feels uncomfortable to people, but in reality, it's actually a lot more similar to the old model than people really want to imagine. Because the whole idea of cord cutting when it came to sports and everything else, it was about availability, it was about access and ease to get to whatever it is that they wanted to watch. So I was pretty early adopter in terms of cord cutting. And then I found ways to make sure I was getting all the sports that I needed, except for the Pac 12 network, which was a whole nother piece of chaos. But when you think about the ease of access of Netflix and of Apple TV, these things are built into your smart TVs already. And they're already readily accessible, and they're things that you use and know how to get to already. So, how is that different than Comcast or DirecTV or whatever your current cable provider is? The difference is that you don't have to have a box. You can watch it on your phone. It's accessible anywhere, and that's literally the only difference. They charge you per month. There's obviously easier ways to cancel and get out of contracts and all of that stuff. But that's the main difference, is that there is no difference. It is exactly cable. It is just brought to you by a different mousetrap. And that's where Netflix and Apple TV, they have eons and eons of money. This is the live sports programming is one of the only places left in the world where you can get eyeballs at that moment for commercial advertising. Because when you're watching Netflix, you're not watching commercials. When you are watching, anywhere else, you're not watching commercials. So if Netflix already has your money for your subscription, and now they can sell ads against the live programming as well, because it's live programming and people are going to watch it live. Now this gives them another strategic advantage over the cable providers and over whether it's Paramount Plus, who's going through some stuff with CBS and everything in between. So watch out for that in the world of sports, and be prepared for what's coming in the future, and don't be resistant to it, because this is inevitable. This is going to happen. And we're also going to see Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson on Netflix. That fight is not going to be on ESPN Plus. It's not going to be on DAZN. Not going to be on any of your other, traditional Showtime. None of those traditional ways that you would watch boxing. It is going to be on Netflix, and it is expected to be the most watched boxing match of all time. So imagine that. Boxing is going live. This is just the precursor of what's coming next for when the next round of media rights is available for the NFL in 2028, 2029, when they start renegotiations. Same thing is going to happen with MLB, NBA in their next cycle as well. It is going to end up, or the world of college football is going to end up on Netflix or Apple TV Plus. Just book it. Because here's the other thing that Netflix also saw: the impact that they had on F1 with Drive to Survive. And then when F1 got sold, they got burned. So now they want a piece of the action that they own and can monetize in a different way. So that's coming up. We found out. So this second topic, Scottie Scheffler, golfer who got arrested before his second round match at the PGA Tour Championship at Valhalla. Well, charges have been dropped against him. And and the charges were of assaulting a police officer and all sorts of other felonious charges. And we saw the video come out. And when we saw the video come out, we were like, what the hell is this officer doing? He ended up getting suspended and everything else. So check this out. Here is the stipulation of the charges being dropped. They told Scottie Scheffler, we will drop the charges against you if you do not pursue legal action against us, and we won't pursue legal action against you. And I'm like, that's laughable. Because if you're Scottie Scheffler, you clearly, yes, you probably should have stopped, but he was right that he was he was trying to get to his tee time. He's the entertainer. Somebody told him to go around, and he was like, is this a security guard or a police officer? There's a difference between a police officer and a security guard. I'm not the one who makes the rules. It's just the reality. One is an authority figure. It's like the difference between a regulation and a law. One of them you can go to jail for. Another one you can get a little fine, little slap on the wrist for. But there was a lot of people who wanted Scottie Scheffler to go to jail. They wanted some sort of punishment for this. And this turned into a different level of issue for people. People allowed this to turn racial. And I was like, how does this make any sense? How are you going to let this turn into a racial issue? They're like, well, so many black men and they and people of color, they have things go wrong with them with the police, and they get charged and all of this stuff. You are 100% right. So why would you want the same thing to happen to Scottie Scheffler? Explain that to me. It doesn't make sense. Justice should look like justice no matter who it's for, whether it's a white rich golfer or whether it is a person of color who has no status or influence out in the world. The same thing should be true. So do I believe that Scottie Scheffler is getting some sort of break or light sentence, or no? I believe that if the video came out about this, about anybody, the police would have been put in the exact same situation. Like, what the hell was this dude doing? Just the reality of the situation. And Scottie, and I'm a little too petty, I guess, because if I were Scottie Scheffler, I don't think I would have accepted this. I do not think I would have accepted this. I would have been like, hey, yo, I need a formal apology. I need you to acknowledge that you messed this up. Because they're like, well, the only way we'll drop charges is if you agree to not sue us. No, you need to apologize. That's what I need up out of you. That's what I need up out of you. Or let me do it. Nah, that's an extreme example, but that's just the reality of the situation. Is that I'm too petty for this. Because if you arrest me and put me in jail, we're gonna have a problem. I spent 12 hours in jail one time. Um, for something I did not do. And that was 12 hours too long. And filing suit against the city had to be an option. I'm just a reality. That's too far, too long. And no, it's not just an inconvenience. I had to get booked. You got my fingerprints all in the system. All of this stuff is embarrassment. Yeah. Yeah, no. That's what we're not doing, fam. All right. The last thing up is EA Sports College Football 25. People got a chance to play the game. They got a chance to go to EA Sports. They got a chance to play for hours, and they gave us details about what's coming next because this is the most highly anticipated college football or even sports game of all time. I mean, like we're talking bigger than any of the Madden releases. The only one I can think that was probably even close to as big was when Tiger Woods, yeah, when Tiger Woods first came out, because that was absolutely big. But here are some of the changes that we found out that are going to be going on because you had a lot of influencers go out there, they got access and everything in between. So we found out that the gameplay is going to be faster, that it is not like Madden. And honestly, that was one of the best things about college football all the way up to 2014 in the last iteration of the game is that it was not Madden. Like it's not a Madden copycat. It's not like it. The gameplay is faster. There was more like there were different things that you could do in the game that you could not do in Madden. And I actually think that that's one of the most crucial parts of NCAA being really good is that it is not Madden. But one of the things that some of the criticism that people are saying, and mind you, we'll figure out how good it is after we get the game, is the recruiting. Because your road to glory or and all of that, it used to be you started out as a high school player and you got a chance to work your way up to get recruited and everything in between. And that's what people knew. And now people are saying, oh man, they took this out of the game. It's the worst part. This is a bad decision. Are we sure? Because in the world and in the technology world, consumers think they want things because and they think that that's what they want because they don't know what's possible and what's available. And it is up to the creators and the architects to show us what's actually possible and show us that something that we had that was really good could actually be better. Prime example, it was in one iteration of Windows. They polled a whole bunch of Windows users. It was Windows Vista, somewhere around there, and they decided we are going to let our customers speak. They're going to tell us the features that they want in this next version of Windows, and they did exactly that. And you know what? It was a crap version of Windows, terrible version of Windows, because they went with what the customers wanted instead of giving the customers what they did not know was possible because they are innovating technology at all times. And the main thing that you want to do in this is give people and the players and the people who are playing your game, EA, is give them control and give them access. So now you're going to have greater access with the transfer portal, with making yourself into a higher level of player on the field to transfer, get NIL, because there's really only so big a game can actually be. I mean, there are limits. So I'm actually excited about that. And here is the quote that I read about the road to glory. That it's going to start in college. And it says, like in real life, players you were close to landing in high school recruiting will remember that they will remember that when they are in the portal and you are likely to end up as one of their preferred destinations in the portal. You can also encourage your own players to enter the portal as you clear up your roster. What? Bro, that is nasty work. That is putting it definitely in real life. And when you start out in the road to glory, if you start out as a 5-star, you'll start over at a 79 overall, 4-star 75 overall, 3-star 70 overall, and a 2-star is a 65 overall. And they're looking at the stadiums. They said that the stadiums are extremely detailed, that they did a great job there. The crowds are very, passionate and know what's going on. There will not be jump around like goes on at Wisconsin or Enter Sandman that goes on at Virginia Tech. So that's kind of a bummer because, money talks, and they didn't get the licenses for it. And that the players are extremely detailed as well. So I'm super. There's no targeting. Thank God. There's no targeting in the game, but there is stadium pulse. So your controller is going to vibrate, everything else, and it's going to bring the world of college football to life. And I am super, super excited about this. And they have done a great job in the lead up to this game. They have actually done a really good job in terms of um like generating buzz, interest, just constantly leaking out until that July release date, which I am ultimately super excited about. But I'm confused, right? Because going back to 2014, 2014 was 10 years ago. I was 32, 33 years old. I played a lot more video games than I do now. So I'm trying to figure out, how am I going to, like, what level am I realistically going to play this video game, because my nostalgia tells me, and I would imagine that you're in the same boat. Our nostalgia tells us, yes, let's go back to the old glory days. But then wife, kids, homework, work, PTA events, trying to relax, enjoy your own extracurricular activity. Like, something's got to give. Or you got to find a way to play with your wife and kids on the game. But you guys, this is Unafraid Show Daily. We're going to be coming to you guys regularly here at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, here on, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or anything else. So you guys make sure that you guys like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and watch all the rest of the content on Unafraid Show as well. Peace out.